matter what I do or say, nothing that I say will stop them from performing my shake. I'm just having enough of this. Just wanna die, just wanna quit. So just give me another beer and make it all go. Falling in the blood of the day.
Okay. Alright, well, the history of Tolerance is started back in 2007. When I arrived in Jakarta, I just started trying to hook up with people on MySpace and figure out where the shows were. I didn't realize at the time when I got to Jakarta that there weren't regular music clubs or places to go to hang out, to see shows. But then I quickly realized this after, getting in touch with a few people on MySpace. I ended up going to the show at a place called the Rossi Music School, and they had a big sort of empty space, an open warehouse where they just kind of set up a makeshift stage, and they just put on, they put speakers up, and it was just kind of like an old garage show, if you will. And that's where I met Reeko. I met Reeko there, along with some of the other guys that he was hanging out with the East Jakarta hardcore crew. And through Reeko, he introduced me to Roy, the guitarist, and to Dado, the bassist, and to another guy, bedot, who was our guitarist at the time. And then later, Did It, who ended up joining us later. And that's really how Tolerance happened. Through the first show I went to at a random open space at the Rossi Music School in South Jakarta. Okay. For future plans, I guess the biggest thing right now is we haven't recorded an album in 2 years. We've written a lot of songs recently. We need to record those. I think we just need to find some time to get into a studio. Big problem in Jakarta, of course, is trying to find a studio. I mean, there are probably lots of little tiny studios here and there, but we need to get a place where we can that's open, constantly, open longer than 2-3 months at a time, and then because all of us are working regular jobs during the day, or some of the guys are students, and we just need to find the time to get that all recorded, to get it recorded and get that time down. All right. Well, outside of hardcore, I got 3 big things, I guess. The family. I got 4 kids. So, trying to spend as much time as I can with them, get them involved in music where I can, make them take guitar lessons and drum lessons, and we even make them take piano lessons, get them involved in things, and of course we have their sports. And that keeps us pretty busy on the weekends. Here's Sheena now. Come here. It's okay? And then for me personally, I like to play rugby. I'm still involved in club rugby. I played this last summer with the Indonesian national team, so I played 2 games this summer against China and against Pakistan, representing Indonesia, and that was a big accomplishment. I thought that was great. And of course, I got work, pay the bills. I am a lawyer. I work for a law firm, a big international law firm. We've got an office in Jakarta. So my job is what we say dispute resolution. Basically, if there's a problem, if the company has a problem, if people have a problem, and they're doing business in Jakarta, they give us a call and we try to sort out the problems. Work locally with the police, the local regulators, and try to calm things down for the clients. That's really about it. Alright, well, before Indonesia, I spent about 10 years in Japan. I wasn't really a part of any formal band in Tokyo. I would go to the shows. I mean, mainly there was a lot of clubs that you can go to in Tokyo. I remember going to Shinjuku quite a bit at Antina, and usually the usual Sunday matinees, and used to go watch my friends' bands. Of course, Everybody's Enemy, who you guys might know, had come down here to Southeast Asia to play. I used to like to watch Everybody's Enemy quite a bit as well. Oh, sorry, not Everybody's Enemy. Eternal Brotherhood. That was a great band. I used to enjoy watching. There was a few others. I remember the punk rock band Stackers. I hear they're coming down to Jakarta soon. a lot of great bands in Tokyo, and we used to go and watch them pretty much every other Sunday or so, or every Sunday when I could. Before I was in Tokyo, I lived in New York. I grew up in New York. I went to school in New York, so back then I was playing in some bands here and there with kids I knew from high school or from school and college. But again, nothing really formal. We didn't really record too much. That stuff that we did record, we recorded on those old sort of tape players. Those tapes are long gone. Yeah, part of the old scene in New York. We used to try to get into the city every once as much as we could. Hey, this is my wife and my oldest son. Yeah, that was before I got to Jakarta. Well, of course, New York hardcore is, the stuff that I grew up with. Those bands that, when we play cover songs, we probably, we cover Agnostic Front, we cover Madball, Sick of It All, Murphy's Law. These are the bands that, if when I get a chance, even now, if I can go see them, if they're coming through Singapore, they're not really coming through Singapore too much, but in Tokyo, I know a couple of years ago they were coming through Tokyo, so we were up there to see them. It was a lot easier when we were there. But these are the type of bands, and the scene, the New York hardcore scene, is hugely influential on the music scene in Jakarta as well. And I think and the music that we play and the music that we write, those are our biggest influences. So we're always looking to see how the scene is doing in New York, and we hope things are going well. And we hope to see you guys coming out to Southeast Asia soon. You got to come to Singapore. You got to come to Jakarta. There's huge scenes down here. The fans are amazing. The people are amazing. It's all about the music here. If I were to say right now, if you look back at what the music scene was like in New York in the early '90s, for example, when I was a teenager, when I was a kid, going to the shows back in New York, then that seems to be what it's like in Jakarta right now. These kids are coming from all over. Whenever we can make these shows, whenever we can put together makeshift shows here and there, people are just coming out of the woodwork. They're coming from all over the place. They want to see these shows. They want to be a part of the music scene, the movement that's going on in Jakarta right now. It really is probably one of the best places in the world to catch a show. Okay, well, the thing with Indonesia, it is a unique place, and the biggest thing I noticed when I first got there is that everybody had to have their own little group. There was, not just one sort of hardcore movement. There was, we're the East Jakarta hardcore crew, or we're the South Jakarta hardcore crew, or, we're the Bandung hardcore crew, or Bogor hardcore, or, Salatiga. I remember the boys going out there to Salatiga, and even in Salatiga, which is in Central Java, they had their own hardcore groups. I think it was 0298 hardcore, the crew there. So this is the one thing I'm noticing is you come in now with the one voice movement, and you're seeing people start to go, okay, wait a minute, this is not just about trying to form little groups. This is more about family. So it's great to be seeing that this sort of movement, the one voice movement, catching on in Indonesia. As you see a few people here and there coming together to say, okay, we're going to be a bigger family. It's bigger than just short little geographical areas of Jakarta or a part of Indonesia where you belong to. This is the thing. It's just starting. The one voice movement. It's just starting in Jakarta, but we got to give props to Titan and Anis and all the guys that are helping out. And we're going to see a lot more development of the hardcore scene in Jakarta. To bring everybody together. All right. Well, look, everybody, we're going to put together a new album soon, and as soon as we get this done recorded, even if we get a couple of songs recorded, we'll throw it out there on the internet for everybody to listen to. We'll start saving our money. We've got to get up to Singapore. So Singapore, Malaysia, we got to come up and play a couple of shows, maybe the end of this year or early next year. get out and start to meet everybody again and get to be a part of it all. So, cheers, and have a look out for Tolerance in 2011 and 2012. There you go.
We fight the